Hello and welcome to the Gonzales Mitchell Show. I'm Clay Mitchell. Patrick is on assignment. Our guest today, and unless you've been under a rock for 40 years, is Jamie Costello. Jamie, former news anchor for Channel 2 for, gosh, almost 40 years, I think 37, 38
Oh,
years.
you're hurting me.
Now has his own business, CosTELlo Your Story, and we'll learn a little bit more about that. Jamie,
How are
welcome
you,
to
Clay?
Gonzales Mitchell. I'm fine frogs here, my friend.
Wait a minute. I see Patrick coming out of the Broadneck Grill down here.
Oh,
There
oh,
he is.
oh, there he
Okay,
is.
very good. I found
He's
him. How you doing, Patrick? We're missing you today. How long
so,
have you two been together? Holy cow!
so I've known him for years, and we just kind of kicked around last summer saying, I retired 18 months ago, and was in between pools. So we said, we're going to do to occupy our time. Let's do this.
Why
So here
not?
we are. So here we
Brilliant,
are.
brilliant. I see that you're carrying the show every week, though. That's good.
Yeah. When Patrick's on, though, ratings go way up. I got to tell you. So
Oh, okay. Don't
I-
tell him
I'm,
that.
I'm just saying. So how'd you get started in media and broadcasting and
Oh
all
my
that?
goodness. Well, Clay, our fathers played a role in our lives. Did they not?
Yes.
My father was stationed at Fort Holabird down there in Dundalk. It's the Holabird complex. It's right across the street from Jimmy's Seafood, off of
Jimmy's.
and around the corner from Squires.
Right.
Squires used to have the pizzas, the pepperoni. They used to curl up.
r-
Pizza John worked in
Right.
there first, learned the trade, then opened up his own shop in back on Back River Neck. But anyway, I'm in the house. My father got sent to Korea, and I'm in the house in Rosedale with my mom, and we heard the house was settling every night. What's that? What's that? I'd hear this. What's going on? Somebody under the bed? And she said, turn the radio on and listen to the radio and turn it up loud. So
Right.
Clay, I used to get on. I used to listen to BAL radio, and then I used to listen to WBZ in Boston. Then I go to KBW in Buffalo, KMOX in St. Louis, and I
Right.
always thought I want to be in the box. I want to be
Yeah.
in that box. And so I was the kid that when an ambulance would come down the street, I'd run out with my wooden spoon and I'd report back to the grown-ups. I'd say, Miss Cass fell down the steps. Oh my goodness. And I got the reaction from them. Here's a true story. I was at Red House Run Elementary in Rosedale, and my teacher at the time, Mr. Copenhaver, who I'm still friends with today, he was my
Great.
fifth, sixth grade teacher. And he says, we are going to do a speech, a public speech for 3 minutes. Well, I went home to my mom and I said, I think I'm going to drop out of school. She go, why? Wait, I got to give a public speech. Now, Clay, nobody had ever heard me. No, except for my closest friends. I never raised my hand, never
Right.
went to the chalkboard, never did any of that stuff. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And she said, well, write about something that you know. And I thought, baseball. So I
There you go.
wrote I wrote a speech about how they made a baseball with the stitches and all that, and the cowhide. And so I got to school that day. It was on a Friday. I remember this, and it was like, there's nobody with the last name of A, nobody with the last name of B.
Uh,
I was the first one up. So I get up, and my mother told me when you're giving a speech, you look right over their heads in the middle. You look over this way. You look over that way. You look, dun, dun. So I got up, and my knee is shaking. I mean, it is like, oh my goodness. And I got my little index cards, and I'm starting here, and I go there, and I go there, and I go there. Now, mind you, they've never heard me in my life, but I'm talking. And at the end of the speech, I stopped, and they all stood up, and they started clapping for me.
oh, wow.
I haven't shut the hell up since. That was it.
That's
So
great.
it was, and to a long answer to your question is that it was always in me, and I had no safety net, and I had no plan B. It was going to
Yeah.
be on broadcast, it was going to be on radio, and radio led into TV, and then I came to Baltimore, my hometown, back in 1987.
That's great. Yeah. Over on the shore, we always appreciated when you all did a story. You never ignored the shore. You always
I
had
swear to
a story
God,
on. And
that was very important to me. I wanted the shore to be covered. And your dad, man, I remember covering your dad and how nice of a man he was. I was just a young kid, but what a nice guy who took the time to answer a dumb question from a rookie
I
reporter.
appreciate that.
He was really good.
Yeah, unless if I came in late from a date, he wasn't so nice. So, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Oh man. So so you did the broadcasting thing for 37, 38 years. And I guess about 6 months, 8 months ago, you retired from Channel 2 and you're looking for
Yeah.
your next gig, your next mission in life.
And it
Tell us
was
about
right
that.
there. My wife, she said, "Do you want to work for me?" Uh, Sure. So I'm working for my wife, the boss, who's already been the boss. So we started this company. It's CosTELLo Your Story. So we're having a lot of fun. And what we do is we just go out and we shoot stories. I don't want good stories to be left on the side of the road.
Right.
There's always a room for a great story. Somebody who's overcome something, somebody who's had great triumph in their life, somebody who may have been suffered from sadness but has already turned their lives around. That's the kind of the positive stories, as we say, positive stories live here. So, and we shoot stories for companies and charities to put on their website. So we're having a lot of fun. One of the best stories. It's amazing. I used to go up there and go to the Sassafras River, and I
Yes.
always passed this place, and I never knew what it was. And I looked and I said, "Why are all the cars in there? Is it a fish tackle place?" Because it was, I'm going down the road.
Right.
And I'd pass it every time. Why is there always, it could have been morning, noon, and night. There's a crowd in here. And I found it was Twinnies. So I get on the phone. Now, stay with me, Clay. I
Yep.
call a name and I go, "May I speak to Alice, please?" Because that's who was on the internet then. I was Googling, that's the owner. "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Alice passed away."
Yeah.
Oh, did I feel? Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah.
Can I leave a message for Joanne? Sure. Joanne calls me back, invites me down. I go in there and I tell the story about Twinnies. Joanne was incredible. She told me about her mom and how she used to pick up the tab for those first responders, and how
Yes.
on her funeral day, the responders were out there with the road covered with first responders and ambulances and fire trucks. And I thought, man, and then to find out that Joanne, who had just gotten out of the hospital to be with me at that restaurant, passes away. I'm
Yeah.
devastated. And you were the first
So
one to reach out and say,
Joanne, the sister's still alive. Her
"Yeah,
the
no,
daughter.
the
Daughter. Yeah.
daughter. I'm sorry, the
Right.
daughter. Yeah,
Right.
geez. Oh, sorry about that."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
um,
Jennifer.
Jennifer, it
Yeah.
was, and she was just a darling, and she just
Yeah.
told me about the family and how they did this restaurant. And your father used to eat. They had a plaque. I sent you. Well,
Right.
the plaque and all.
Right. Yeah, all the time. He was in there, especially after my mother passed. He was in there
Ah,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time, and he always went there. He loved Twinnies, and after Dad had passed, he had several gavels from when he was speaker. So I went in there and gave him the gavel. Said, "Just put this up on the shelf, as a reminder that he was here." And they actually had it framed, and it says,
that's
"Forever
right.
our speaker."
Right.
And if you walk into 20s, to the right in the back is a round table with maybe 6 chairs, and they always called
Yes,
that
right.
the speaker's table, and that's where he sort of held court
I
with
loved it.
all the local farmers and watermen and such,
How far did you
a
live from the
and
restaurant? How long? How far did he live from the restaurant, or where you
he
grew
was
up?
maybe 6, 7 miles. He lived in a small town called Kentmore Park, and it was maybe 6, 7 miles up the road, so, it was convenient. And 20s, they'll always put out, say, around Thanksgiving time, holiday time, if you have a family and you're having trouble feeding your family, let us know. It's confidential. We got you covered. And those ladies that have that place have hearts of gold. And I'm glad you did that story. Everybody over here on the shore saw that broadcast,
Oh, that
and it
was,
was
I just
it
loved, I mean, the people were just great. And that's what makes a story, people. You know that.
yeah, yeah. And I think there's a little bench out there that in memory of Alice, and
She had a
Oh,
plate. I remember there was
right,
I met the plates out there. Oh man, and Jennifer, gee,
right.
and Jennifer had her son. Oh man, the son
Yeah.
had some.
Yeah,
Had,
we gotta get you back over here
yeah,
and
we'll do that. Absolutely, love it. Twinnies.
fried oysters, crab cakes, man. I'll set you up.
Oh, that is good stuff, Clay.
So what are the plans now with CosTELlo Your Story? What are you reaching out to? What are
Oh,
you doing next
yeah,
with it?
we've got a couple of things in the works that's going to come up, and some are big deals. So it's going to be I'm going to be back out and reporting on these and telling good stories. We have a my wife went out and got her FAA drone license. Clay, it was like
Excellent.
passing a law. It was like becoming a lawyer. I mean, what she had to go to a Crofton to take it. So she walks in and she opens up the computer. She goes, "Oh, this is like a real estate exam. Is this the right exam?" She's looking at, oh my goodness, I don't know this, but she passed. But that drone stuff, oh my goodness.
Yeah, my son is a video business and he did that. And I think you have to know like, the maps and the gradients and the all that stuff. And I was like, well,
Right.
I'm
I
not
know. I
doing
was, no, I looked at it. I went, no, no, you go ahead. You're more technical than I.
and
But
that's
we're going
why
to have a lot
she's
of
the
fun.
boss.
That's
That's
right.
why
She's
she's
the
the boss.
boss. I just follow orders. That's all I do.
That's right. Now, how long have you all been married? And tell us about your
We are
family.
coming up on 10 years. Got two boys, one's 7, one's 3, and my 7-year-old is unbelievable. He's a baseball fanatic. I mean,
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, it's almost like I got to pull him back a little bit. We can't go out and hit snowballs. Just put the bat down. Let's go. And I'm going to
yeah,
be coaching both. That's why I got out of TV because I wanted to be home at 5 to coach both kids.
yeah.
The tough years of growing up, to me, there's nothing better than baseball and growing up with the team and playing that way.
It says here on the bio I looked of you,
Ah,
you live in Annapolis?
yes, sir. Not I can see the
It,
no, I can't see the state capitol. No, I can see the Bay Bridge, but I can't see where we go the back way through to Annapolis. And it's a great, you know how it is. It's a great town.
well, anytime you come over the bridge, feel welcome. Just tell them my name, and you're allowed to be over here. Okay. Now
Okay, I'll say it.
you
I'll
have a.
drop
It says you have a dog named Coco.
Coco. It's Costello, and her name was Connor. So we just
Ah,
COCO, Coco.
yeah.
And
And
he is 11 years old now. Oh my goodness.
wow. Now your children. Do they have any aspirations to go into media or broadcasting?
I hope not. I hope not. No, he wants to be a YouTuber.
There you
But
go.
the youngest, uh, I have no idea what they're going to be. So
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it?
yeah. Invest his time in YouTube, not TikTok, right now.
Right, right. Well,
He'll
you never know
he'll think
now.
so much.
Gee, my
Right,
good. Or
right.
what? The AI Stargate they're going to build in
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah,
I
yeah.
said to my wife, I got LI, a lack of intelligence. I
Lack
have
of
no,
intelligence.
what in the world are they doing? $500 billion. Wow.
And with media, you're probably gonna have to adopt some of that AI technology,
Isn't that
uh,
something?
and use it somehow. I've seen videos, Jamie, that look real,
Yeah, right, right,
and
right,
you can't
right.
tell if they're fake.
That's
Uh,
that's worrisome. That's going to be scary.
I
On it.
saw one yesterday. I think it was Joe Biden was on the front porch of the White House, and he was tying balloons or something to the
Oh,
White
gee.
House, and it lifted the White House away. He was like, "You can take my office, but you're not going to take my house." But it
Oh
looked
man.
real. It
Yeah.
really looked real.
And of course, somebody passes it along. Look what I found. Oh,
Oh
look at
my
this.
gosh, that's right. That's right. Now, do you keep in contact with anyone from the old days?
Oh,
Chop
yeah, yeah,
two?
yeah, yeah. Andy Barth, I talk to Andy all the time. He's living down in Florida. Um, you know, I had a dream the other night about Lou Davis, and
Wow.
I he was sitting. Clay, this is weird. He was sitting by a window and he was eating lunch and he had a mask on. And I saw him and I went, Lou, and he took his mask off and he said, "Sit down. Let's have a drink." And then I woke up. Then I sent Josh, his son, and his wife a message that I had a dream about Lou. Isn't that something?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they were great. And Garceau's, texting me all the time. Mills all the time. I mean, they're great people.
Yeah, Lou Davis covered Annapolis
Oh, he was
back
all
back
over.
when my dad
Yeah,
was in, and he always knew he was gonna get a fair interview. I mean, he asked probing questions, but he always knew that he wasn't sensationalized
right.
like some of the reporters, and he
Lou was
really had
great.
respect for him. Yeah. Those were the good old days, my friend.
I remember when Lou passed, Bush and Miller showed up at his funeral. I mean,
Yeah.
that says something when the guys that you really held up,
Yeah.
they show up because they know he was fair.
Do you have any advice for people who, say our age that, are looking for their next adventure in life, and they're looking for something to
Good
do? Do you
question.
have any advice as to what you should do or take time off and think, or how'd you arrive at where you are now?
Take time off and think and do what you really want to do. Find your passion. Find your passion. If I said, Clay, you're going to be doing a podcast 10 years from now, would you have thought that 10 years ago?
No, not at all.
Would you have thought you'd
Not
be
at
working
all.
with Patrick Gonzales?
No, not at all.
No.
Let me think about that. No.
No, but it's just do what you want to do. I have a friend
Yeah.
who's, had a great career, corporate manager, and now he's running ships for Watermark, and he just
Wow.
loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you just do what you want to do. Be a bartender, sell real estate,
Yeah.
juggle, lead tours. There's so much. You just got to find your passion, just like you were when you're 16, 17.
Hey, if you play drums or guitar, we can get a band together, my friend. And
Well, okay, I'll front you, but I can't even. eh,
there there you go. My goodness. Now, the guy that used to be an anchor on Channel 2, he went to Baltimore Gas Electric, George McGowan, is
No,
that
George Rogers.
George
George
Rogers?
Rogers.
Right.
Yes,
Uh,
George. Man, he had the
that's a legend.
booming voice. Yeah, yeah, we had George back then, and then we had Stu Kerr, and then let's see who else. Then we had Nelson Benton. Nelson Benton was a big
Right.
name we got from
Y
CBS
yeah,
News.
national broadcasting, yeah,
Yeah, and then Sally came in. Sally and Ken Matz. That was my era.
yeah.
Ken taught me how to put makeup on in the dressing room. Here's how you do it. Oh, okay, Ken.
Okay.
And Sally was there. We had Ken Phillips, and then Jack Dawson, who was a legend.
Oh
Jack.
my, legend.
And when I was getting there, John Saunders was leaving. John was going to ESPN. And we had Ron Riley. Ron Riley did weather. He was great.
Yeah,
Ron Riley, remember when he did duck pins for
yes.
dollars?
Doc Vincent Dollars,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh! And let me see who else. Then Stu and oh man, Stu Kerr was just Stu Kerr, in my opinion, was probably the most underrated TV performer in Baltimore history.
Professor Cool, man.
Oh my
Professor
God!
Cool. He was
All the
something.
kids love that.
We love school, cause it's lots of fun. I remember that, their song was so great.
That is great. Yeah, Stu was just a legend. Jack Dawson, Scotty Garceau, Keith Mills. I mean, back in the day, we had a great sports department. I mean, it was legendary. And I never thought anybody would out Vince Bagley because Vince could tell you, Clay, your father played softball and your uncle played, he knew everybody.
Yeah,
And Mills the same way. Mills,
yeah.
he grew up in Brooklyn Park and he did over he Club 30, what was it, Club 6400? I mean, down in Brooklyn, he was great.
You came along in broadcasting in a great era, back when TV was TV, uh,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, it
I'm
was
sure you're
sad. Clay, I remember, and you remember some stuff. I remember Jack Bowden, the great Jack Bowden walking in on, it was 88, 87. It was New Year's Eve, 88. And he
yeah.
said, be on your toes. Jerry Turner's about to pass. I
Oh,
went,
yeah,
oh my goodness. And I was, I'd just been in my first year there, and they gave me the obit to do on Jerry Turner, and I thought that was, and I got a nice letter. I still have it today from Jerry's wife, and saying
yeah.
how much it meant, for a local kid to tell about Jerry's passing.
Yeah,
I
he was the
mean,
Walter Cronkite
oh my,
of Baltimore
nobody,
broadcasting.
untouchable.
He was. He was. Well, my friend, I look at the clock on the wall. We're
Uh-oh.
running out of time. We're having so much fun. Next time you come on, we'll have Patrick here,
And I
and
won't
and
be. Love the
it's
guy. I'm just kidding.
yeah, I hear you. So, Jamie, I want to have you back on. I'm sure we have lots more stories to tell.
Come on, I'll
So,
see you at Twinny's. We'll do it.
hey,
I
crab
promise.
cake and fried oysters, man. I'll
You're
set
on.
you up. I'll
All
set you up.
right.
But
We
right
miss
now,
you,
it's time.
Patrick.
We miss you, Patrick. Hey, it's time to say goodbye, Patrick.
Goodbye, Patrick.
Patrick, goodbye wherever you are. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
Clay. Thank you
I'll
for
be
having
sure
me,
to have you
Clay.
back. Thank you, friend.
All right. Thank you, sir.